Walking the labyrinth. I think the gray stones are the rats. Yeah. Labyrinths are very weird. I feel very conflicted about my bitter and resentful heart, and embarrassed at how dark my heart can get, self-pitying wise, instead of focused on gratitude. Very tangled and tangling. And so this is an appropriate metaphor for what I drove down here to experience. I think that we all have a labyrinth inside of our hearts and minds. I feel like with my mind, I'm more comfortable and experienced with getting out of myself and into something bigger that could help others. Whereas with my heart, I get really lost. It's a very dark and kind of, if I had to give it a quality, it's very wet and squishy and just sad, like lifetimes of crying. And I feel really self-conscious right now because I'm aware of how my YouTube is perceived by someone I love very much. And I guess I have always wanted to feel free, but I've never wanted it to be something that others could observe or judge. And so I guess it's sort of like where a lot of privacy-oriented habits and hobbies come from, I guess. You know, I think I have created this whole YouTube in an attempt to choose myself and to stop following the world. I wanted to choose myself in my own way of being, which is something like pulling over and walking labyrinths, or something like taking twice as long on a drive to get somewhere. I wanted to encourage myself in a world that doesn't encourage me. I wanted to encourage my artistry. I wanted to encourage my weirdness. Not because I want to be weird, but because I want to feel free to be myself. And the thing is, I think this YouTube channel has been a way of giving it a frame. You know, like, hey, I'm just YouTubing. That's why I'm stopping walking the labyrinth. Not, hey, I'm on a nature drive by myself to think clearly, maybe write a song or two, but also pull over and walk a labyrinth if I find one. And also just have whatever weird spiritual experiences I need to have in order to heal generational trauma. I can tell. It's not just me. I'm trying to, like, allow healing to be the center of my life. And not to be morbid or depressing. Like, also I'm trying to allow joy and love to be the center of my life. And whenever something gets in the way of that, like it kind of has in the last couple days, where I notice my own bitterness, my own resentment, my own grumpiness, my own fear of people, my own fear of being engulfed by people, my own fear of being fake for the sake of people, which never works. It always leads back to them just being annoyed, and it always leads back to nothing ever being enough for those people, you know, or feeling that way. Like, when I feel engulfed by people and you give them an inch and they want another inch, and it's just like, I like having boundaries and I like having a lot of time alone, and that's an embarrassing thing to admit. I love having a ton of time alone in order to think straight, and some people I know hate to be alone. Any chance they get, they want to fill it up with time with other people that they love, and I probably would do that if I knew how to think straight in the presence of other people, or if I knew how to honor myself more in the presence of other people. But I feel like when I'm in the presence of other people, I lose myself. I just focus on you. And so by the end of the hangout or visit or whatever, the whole thing in my heart has been about you, and I haven't been checking in with me, and then I go away, and that's when I realize whether or not I felt really present. And I would like to work on that. I don't know how to work on that, but I would like to work on, I don't know, admitting when it hurts, like if someone doesn't really seem like they like me at all, and they're just tolerating me while they, I don't know how to describe it. I guess I just feel like too much for a lot of people, and yet at the same time I'm perfectly able to be fake and presentational, and maybe that just hurts. I made it to the center. Maybe it hurts to know that I'm perfectly able to be what other people need, and I can do it with tons of people. I can just be what I call fake and take care of others. Meanwhile, my own needs don't necessarily get met. And I think I'm just in a defiant phase where I feel like, wow, no one's really doing this for me, or a few people are, and those very few people who are doing that, I cherish them, and I've just learned to focus on those few people more. And I've just been learning to pull my focus off all the people who I feel like maybe don't know how to do that for others, how to listen, or how to support, or how to get excited for other people's accomplishments. And that's the bitterness that grew in my heart, is that I realized that there's something that I'm really good at, which is making people feel heard and cared for if they have one-on-one hangout time with me. Not everybody. There are some people who, because they're so the other way, then I end up accidentally taking advantage of them. And maybe that's what I've run into, is a bunch of people who take advantage of me because I'm one of the only people they know who can really listen and make them feel seen and valid. But then that lopsidedness, it's sort of like, if with 90% of the people I know, I'm the one who's receiving and making them feel seen and valid, but then with the 10% of people I know, I'm like, oh, thank God, someone who actually sees me and I feel valid. Then do I accidentally dump on them? Probably. Do I accidentally take more from those people than I give because I'm so tired of the 90% of people that take more from me? Probably. And so then I'm doing just as much of the imbalancing. And that sucks, because those people that are such good listeners and caretakers, I wish I could give them back the thing that they're giving to me so freely. And maybe I do. I'm actually better at it than I used to be. But, yeah. I don't really like myself right now. I don't really like my YouTube channel right now. I don't really feel good about myself or feel valid. Not just in a success or failure way, but like as in like, why am I sharing so much with people I've never met? And you know, if it's for the sake of art, well, even artists curate, and this is totally uncurated. And so I just feel like my heart got really dark, and I know what this slippery slope feels like. I know exactly who and what triggers it for me. I know what it's important for me to stay out of this place emotionally, and yet I'm back in it. And that's what hearts are like. They feel sorry for themselves. They feel bad about the world. They feel more pain than love. They feel awareness of what has happened or what is happening instead of what could happen. I feel like my heart needs to lighten up. You know, like things could be worse. Things can always be worse. And I don't know how to get myself out of it. Oh, right. You just walk out. You just jump the tracks. Boom. And then you jump the tracks again. Boop. And you just get out. Right. Metaphors. Alright. Well, that's a weird little ramble at a time in my life when I'm working harder than ever at paperwork for a loan, and my whole future is in the hands of a bank, and a house, and where we might live is in that, and Brian's working as hard as ever, and I'm working as hard as ever, and we're both also doing creative things as much as ever, and trying to move our lives as fast as ever. And it's a beautiful, wonderful thing, but it's also terrifying and overwhelming, and I'm just overwhelmed right now. So there we go. Hey, look, pickleball courts. I haven't heard the word pickleball in ages. Well, see you later.